And welcome to Nancy's Neighborhood, folks. And it's good to be with you all today. And I have some special guests that are going to tell you about some offerings that we have for things for you all to do. And I just hate it. I'm like Melissa Woody was on here the other day, and she said she hates to hear people say, there's nothing to do in Cleveland. Well, there is, and we're going to tell you about some things to do in Cleveland. So I've got Dwight Richardson here, and he's representing the Allied Arts Council of the Cleveland Bradley Chamber of Commerce, and he has 4 different things for you to do. In case you're not interested in one, you might be interested in others. So welcome, Dwight. Good to have you with us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you letting me be on here.
I appreciate you coming in.
There are really a lot of stuff to do, especially in the summertime. There's stuff to do all the time with schools, but now that school's out, we've got plenty of stuff to do if you want to pick and choose. But you're going to have to read the paper, and you're going to have to check calendars online and stuff like that to know where these things are, because you might miss it. We were sitting at the Allied Arts a couple months ago or 3, I guess now, and somehow or another, Melissa and Woody and I were sitting together, and that's a bad combination right there.
Yeah, right.
And so all of a sudden we thought, what can we do in June that would help people know more about the chamber, know about the community? So we come up with a workshop series. And so I tried to come up with a fancy name because workshop is kind of overdone.
Right.
So I come up with Artisan workshop.
Artisan
I don't
workshop.
know where my camera's
Okay.
at. But anyway, we're calling it the 2018 Artisan Workshop Series.
And I'm surprised Melissa didn't come up with an alliteration. She loves those alliterations, like First Friday Festival.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I like that too. But
Yeah.
it was hard to do workshop in June. It just didn't work.
Right.
So anyway, we're going to break this down into 4 Thursdays. And the first one will be coming up June 7th.
Which is this coming Thursday.
That's this coming Thursday.
Okay.
And this one, they're all family friendly. I want everybody to understand it's not an adult thing. It's not a teenage thing. It's an adult, family friendly event.
That's
so,
good to know.
What brought my attention, we had someone in the city call me and said, my son loves to write and wants to be a writer. And he's just, I think 9 or 10. I can't remember how it was. I said, bring him to this because I'll be there. There'll be some other adults there for supervision. He'll love something like this. And our first series is called How to Be an Author. And we've got some published authors that's going to be there named Bonnie Hathcock. A lot of people know Bonnie. She has written a book that's been very successful. Joel Huffstutler is also going to be with us.
Oh, good.
I don't know if you know much about this guy, but I'm telling you, I got to speak to him for the first time the other night on the phone. I knew of him. He is the #1 selling author in UK on Amazon.
Oh, wow.
Can
I
you
did
believe
not
that?
know that.
Yeah,
Our Episcopal priest here in
yeah,
Cleveland, Tennessee.
Yeah. He
Wow.
He collaborates a lot with the parish person there at Westminster Abbey.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
This man has got really some great credentials, and I'm anxious for people to get to meet him. And then we've got this author thing is confusing me. Am I saying author?
Yeah,
whichever
yeah.
the way.
Not-
What's the
not
southern way to
not
say
the
it?
name Arthur, but an author,
Okay.
a writer.
Whatever the southern thing for author
Right.
for the writer is C.K. Phillips. He is he's written about
Ken.
3 to 4 books.
Ken Phillips.
Yes, and
Yes.
he's a great guy, and he's also going to be. We're going to do a lot of panel for this people.
Okay.
So you may come with a question, but if you want to learn how to write your memoirs, if you want to, maybe you've got this book in your head, you just can't get it out, this is the person you want to talk to. You can ask these questions. It's for beginners. It's for people that possibly have written a book and didn't do much with it or whatever. A lot of ancestry right now in families, people need to be writing books about this
Yes,
stuff.
they do.
We don't have Debbie Moore anymore on radio, but your family is still important. And
Right.
It's amazing what you can find out in your family. So these is How to Be an Author. It's just really a great little thing.
And I have Bonnie's book, and I have Ken's 3 books.
Okay.
And I've enjoyed every one of them. And I didn't have any idea about Reverend Huffstutler. I had no idea whatsoever. So that'll be
he's pretty
fascinating.
interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, it is very interesting. And they're going to bring the books that they have. If somebody wants to purchase, you're not obligated, but we want you to come if you can.
And then what time does
It will
this
be at
start?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
This coming Thursday. You need to register with the chamber. It's $5 to come. I guess tickets will probably be sold at the door, but we would love for people to do in advance.
Okay.
But you can register at clevelandchamber.com and hit the Allied Arts button, and it will take you right to that thing.
Okay.
Also, on June the 14th, it's How to Be a Storyteller. Judy Baker from the Cleveland Storytelling Guild will be helping us. A lot of people know Judy. She's helped us in Spirits, Legends, and Lore, and all these storytelling. She's becoming where she goes out of town a lot for speaking engagements on
Yes,
this.
she does. She's a regional storyteller now.
But you know, there's a lot of people that think they can tell a story, and I won't name a few of them.
But there may be two sitting right here, right now. Yeah.
But they really can't. They
No,
can just
not
make
like
up stuff.
That's exactly right.
And she will teach you kind of how to start with a theme. Because she's one of our storytellers in Spirits, Legends, and Lore.
Right.
So something happened with the copper mine in Copper Hill, and I thought, let's do a story on that. And let's say 17 people trapped in the copper mines at Copper Hill, and they all died. And we could make up the story about that. She said, Dwight, I don't know if we want to do it quite like that. But, she can take a thought.
Right.
And then she can create a story from it.
Absolutely.
And it's really a great thing, and I think that's on the 14th.
And she takes a lot of her early childhood and tells stories about that, which I think, to me, that's another reason. If people are interested in doing some of their heritage, they need to come and learn from Judy how to tell these stories.
Right.
Because I think sometimes with our kids, even with teenagers, it's easier if you tell them a story than if you hand them a piece of something that's written down, which is a
it's
shame.
like this last week, Bob Cash passed away. Bob
Yes.
Evans. All the stuff that was in his head
Absolutely.
from all the years, it's gone now if he didn't share it. And he did share a lot with us, but there's probably some things he forgot to do or forgot to tell. We just need to have that history.
That's
Whether it's
exactly
city
right.
history, state history, family history, we need that. On June the 21st, which happens to be my birthday,
Oh, good.
all the cards and letters can roll in.
Yeah, we'll have cake and everything, yeah.
We've got someone named Rob Alderman. Have you ever heard of him?
Oh, I'm afraid I have.
Okay. He's going to teach us how to be a movie critic.
Okay.
Now, he can really critique these movies.
I know he can.
And so if you've ever wanted to learn a little bit more about the movie industry and how to critique that and what to look for, he's the man to see. And he'll be quite entertaining.
Yes, he will be.
What he don't know, he'll make up, and you won't ever know the difference.
That's exactly right. And the thing about it, when I go to the movies, if I go to see a movie, I go because I like the movie, and I don't critique it. I mean, unless I say, oh, my gosh, so-and-so was really bad in that.
Yeah.
But, that's as far as I critique.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I want to critique any further, but...
Well, everybody looks at something different. When they come out of the movie, they that has to be the best movie I've ever seen in my life. Then the next one comes out, I couldn't stand that. That was the worst movie I ever saw. I mean, everybody's different.
That is exactly right.
Mr. Rob Alderman will help us to be able to critique old movies the good way.
And if nothing else, he will be entertaining.
That's right.
You are so right.
That's
he will
right.
Be
And that's the 21st.
Okay.
On the 28th, which is the last night of the series on Thursdays, singer-songwriter Tim Poteet will be with us. And most people know Tim. He works at Southern Heritage Bank. He has several CDs out. He's had several songs written. He's had some recorded. So we got a lot of talent in Cleveland, Tennessee.
Oh, boy, do we ever.
And a lot of people that know how to write songs, and a lot of people that have a song in them, but they don't know what to do to get it out.
Absolutely.
So Tim can help you and guide you how to be a songwriter. So I don't know if he can help you to be a singer, but he can help you be a songwriter.
Right. And, he's in my praise group at Broad Street.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, and he also does Wednesday nights at the Bistro.
Okay.
And I told him, I said, we should do this some night besides Wednesday night because I got to be at choir practice on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Can't get down to the Bistro. But anyway, very, very talented young man. Very talented.
Yeah. Well, this series, Artisan Workshop Series, will conclude our 25th anniversary for the Silver Anniversary Celebration of the Arts. And we've had a great anniversary celebration. We've had some wonderful events and such wonderful events. We're going to copy a little bit of those events for next year, just sporadically. It's not going to be another anniversary, but we want to share with the public. For $5, you can gain a lot of information from these people.
And you don't have to come to every one of them.
No, you don't have to come to every
Just pick the one you want to.
Just pick the one you want to come to. If you know somebody that ought to be there, then call them or Facebook them something, tell them to be there. But you can get all this information on the chamber at clevelandchamber.com. Register. We'd love to have you.
And you mentioned, I can't think, Legends and Lores.
Yeah, Spirits,
the
Legends, and
Spirits,
Lore.
Legends. I always forget about the Spirits, Legends, and Lores. And you have that scheduled for October.
October, I'll tell you just a second.
Okay, so that
October
everybody
the-
will know.
October the 12th.
October the 12th. So don't anybody plan
Right.
anything for October
Right.
the 12th because it's Spirits, Legends, and Lords.
Now, we're going to have 2 shows this year.
Oh.
Last year, we sold out. We had to turn people away. We didn't want to do
That's
that.
not
So we're
good.
not going to do that this year. We're going to
Okay.
have 2 shows. We've already secured Greg Lover again from Channel 3. He's promised to be there. This is the 10th anniversary, so it's going to be the biggest and the best.
Okay, so we
You know.
might actually have the Copper Mines.
We
with
might
the,
have to,
you know,
yeah, we
you
might
just-
have to have several stories made up to go.
Right, right, absolutely.
Well, Dennis, can I just tell one more thing?
Yes.
I know we're getting off this, but Dennis Stewart wrote the book that we've done 2 things on. The Lillian Hutzel story.
Yes.
He wrote that book,
Yes.
and then he also wrote the book on one of our city sheriffs, Homer Simpson.
Right.
Well, he's told me of another story up in Monroe County of a doctor that's really strange, and the building is still there. Both have passed away now, but this is a story we think we're going to evolve on. It's a mausoleum she built beside the house in honor of her husband when the doctor died.
Okay.
And then she built her a mausoleum inside the mausoleum where she could lay down under this solid piece of glass so people could be sure and look at her when she died. I mean, it's a pretty interesting story.
Yeah.
And it's still there. You know,
Okay.
This is a true story.
Oh, it's still there.
Yeah.
I wonder where it is.
We'll
This week.
embellish it a little
I'm
bit.
sure
but,
we will.
but
We always
it's a true
embellish
story.
just a
Yeah.
little.
And see, that's the thing. Judy can take these stories
Mm-hmm.
that we hear about, and she can put these together if you're interested in a storyteller.
Yeah, well, she's come on here a couple of times with me, and I know once she told a story, and it had some kind of boo at the end of
Yeah.
it. Well, I jumped clear out, because, yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
that's
she's
true.
really good. So, okay, it starts this coming Thursday, 7 o'clock. It's $5 each event,
Yes.
each workshop, and clevelandchamber.com. Go to the Allied Arts button.
Correct.
And register.
Correct.
And so that is awesome. Absolutely awesome. So
Joel at the chamber did that. I got to brag on Joel.
Joel
He
is awesome. He's
He
great.
took
He is
Nancy
really-
Neal's place, and he
Yes.
really is a great
He
guy
really
to get
is.
this done.
He
so.
really is. So, Dwight, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being on with me. I appreciate
Appreciate
it.
the time.
And folks, don't go away. I'll be right back after our commercials. And remember what I say: watch our commercials, support our sponsors because they pay our bills. And I'll be right back with our next guest.